I hate this already.
I'm just...
Oh my god.
The hair situation deteriorated rapidly, so now I'm wearing a hat and a braid. Let's continue. What I was trying to get at before my crew so rudely interrupted me was my first two questions, which were what did I have the most fun on and why, and what am I the most proud of and why. And I said that the answer for those two questions was the same, and I said it was my me montage. I'm most proud of my me montage because I spent the most time on that. Not like, I don't know if like cumulative time, but it just like, it felt more, it like involved when I was spending time on it than when I was doing, I don't know, one of the written assignments or something that was less meaningful to me. So that was kind of why I really liked that one. It really allowed me to be creative and do what I wanted to do, as opposed to what like someone else was telling me what to do or something like that. And then when we showed it to the class and other people seemed to like it, that was really cool. So that's kind of goes into the next question, as what I'm most proud of. Is also the me montage because of how much work I put into it, and it allowed me to be creative, and it allowed me to like think about filmmaking in a way that I never had before, because it was the first thing that I'd ever made on my own. So I really enjoyed that. I think it's a good way to get kids into filmmaking, because you do everything by yourself. You have to plan everything out, and you have to like plan your shots, and you have to edit it, and you have to think about like times you can film and people you can film and people who are okay with being in it, and places you can film and places you can't film and stuff like that that you just never would have thought of had you not had to do this. So yeah, I think it's a really good way to get kids involved, and it's just a really good start to the year. My next question is, what do I wish we had more time to do and why? And I wish that we had more time to make original films like the me montage. I feel like that's the best way to learn the art of filmmaking, is to do it yourself. And it's kind of hard in this setting because we only have a certain amount of time in each class period each day. And of course we have like everything else going on in our lives. Like we have the rest of our classes, a lot of us work, a lot of us have things to do at home with our families and stuff like that. So right now it's really hard to focus on making an original piece, especially for a class like this. But I think that if there was a way that we could do more of it, that it would be really beneficial to everyone in the class, especially those like myself who want to go into filmmaking as a career. So yeah, if we had more time to do that, that would be really cool. My next question is, what are my thoughts on or suggestions for the NICE Awards, and how kids are recognized for their work? I really like the idea of the NICE Awards. I think that at this age and at this stage in our lives, we don't really get a lot of opportunities to showcase our work to anyone. So even if it's just a crowd as small as our classroom, it's really cool that we get recognized, or at least the chance to get recognized. But I also think it would be really cool if we could maybe expand the voting pool a little bit. I think it'd be a really cool way to like spread the word this is happening, and then also get the rest of the school involved, and then maybe get more authentic feedback. But like everyone knows each other, so that's kind of hard to have impartial thoughts about everything, because sometimes you just feel more inclined to vote for people you like or people you know better. But I think that if it was more of a wider pool of people, that we could get some really authentic feedback, and that would be helpful. My next question is, what is something that I realized about my film preferences, films or genres that I discriminate against, and why? I guess I should start off by saying that throughout my life, personally, I've watched a lot more television than I have movies. I do like movies a lot, but the thing that really, the thing that I'm really drawn to just tends to be TV shows. I have to go back a little bit because I want to talk about like what I thought I knew before this class and what I kind of know now. Because like my whole life I've very much enjoyed like action-packed adventure type things. Like when I was little, my favorite movie was The Mummy. Well, actually, it was The Mummy Returns. I like the second one better.
Bracelet of Anubis.
And then when I was like 10, I started watching 24. I really liked that show because of the intensity. There were just a lot of situations that made you think about what was going on, and that's why I really liked that one. It was also really fast-paced, and it just kind of captured my attention. I also like TV shows like House.
This is Dr. House.
Love me cancerously,
He's too brilliant for introductions.
like a salt sore soaked in the sea. High maintenance means you're a gluttonous,
House, shut up.
narcissistic and mean.
Great. Now everyone knows.
It was smart, and it was witty, and it was entertaining, while also being somewhat emotional at points. And it brought up a lot of questions about like morality and mortality, being that it's a doctor show. So I thought that was really cool. American Horror Story was one of my more recent favorite shows. I just liked it was just intriguing. I liked that American Horror Story intrigued me in a way that not a lot of other shows had. And one of my more recent favorite shows is called Orphan Black.
Something really weird just happened at the train station.
What?
I saw a girl kill herself.
Ew.
Yeah, and she looked exactly like me.
But yeah, so those are the kind of like TV shows that I've liked. What I think I've realized all of these shows and movies have in common is the style of the writing and the storytelling, in that it is very authentic, and that it is like it's very real, and it feels like something where you could be there and you could experience it even if it's not realistic. Being in this class has made me realize stuff about these shows that I wouldn't have looked at before. Like, for example, Orphan Black, I've looked a lot at acting as one of the elements of that show that really makes the show, because the main actress plays all of the clones, and you cannot tell that is the same person when she's playing the different clones. It's very impressive.
My name is Beth.
Allison.
Katya.
Kasima.
My name is Sarah.
But who are they?
What's going on?
When did I
Become us.
And editing is another thing that I've noticed, especially in Orphan Black, because it is only one person playing those characters. It's got to be difficult to edit and to shoot those scenes. And it's just things like this that I've realized through this class. So I think that my film or TV preferences have a lot to do with like this, how well the story and the show itself is constructed. I feel like I like things that look like they have a lot of thought put into them. Just stuff that doesn't feel meaningful, it doesn't really entertain me. My last question is the required question. What words of wisdom do I have for the next class of film students? I would say my first piece of advice is to do your summer homework over the summer, because it'll take a lot of stress away from the beginning of the school year, especially if you're in IB, because if you're in IB, then you're going to have a lot of work to do. But I would say the main thing is to just try and be passionate about what you're doing in the class, because you do get a lot of freedom to do what you want. And if you choose things that you don't like or that don't interest you, then it's going to be a lot harder to do well, because it's just a lot harder to focus on things that you don't like in general. So I would say that my main thing is to just choose stuff that interests you and that excites you and that you think is fun and interesting, and be open to learning new things, because you might not realize that you like certain things that are actually pretty cool and that you might really enjoy in the future. So yeah, that would be my advice to the upcoming class of film students.
South Broma, follow AMA Bay on Instagram.